Yo, what is up you guys? KiddCalin back with another build video for the Warlock, and Bungie's gone and completely blown my mind because they decided, hey, let's go ahead and buff his build from last season, which, you know, is pretty cool.
You did. You crazy son of a bitch, you did.
Okay, now obviously DMG, Deej, and the team over at Bungie aren't out here watching my videos, but they did basically make the build that I made last season even better. Now, before I forget, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoy these build videos, and subscribe if you're new to the channel because I make these pretty much every season. Now, last season we paired Sun Bracers with the Ariana's Vow to help us get through all of those lost sectors. Obviously, there's a new season, new weapons, but don't worry guys, I'm here this season to update this build. But please be warned, because this build has the potential to blow up your computer. From spawning too many Warmind cells. But without further ado, let us get into this build. First up, we're going to be starting with our exotic armor, which we're going to be using the Sun Bracers exotic gauntlets, which comes with the exotic perk helium spirals, increasing the duration of our solar grenades, as well as giving us unlimited solar grenade energy after a solar melee kill. Alright, now for the second part of this build, that is right, the weapon that is going to help us print not only Warmind cells, but if you build this build correctly, it will also help you build elemental wells. I'm talking about Tiku's Divination. Alright, this bow comes with the exotic perk Sacred Flame. Hip firing this weapon fires multiple tracking projectiles. Targets marked with these projectiles explode upon death or when struck by another Sacred Flame's explosion. And it also has the exotic perk Causality Arrows. Arrows fired while aiming down sights causes Sacred Flames to instantly detonate, and precision hits while perfectly drawn increases the power of this detonation. Alright, so basically how this bow works is you hip fire, it will track and mark the target with Sacred Flames. Once you aim down sights or kill that target with another weapon, it will explode those Sacred Flames, which will in most cases secure the kill on combatants in PvE. In PvP, it's a little bit more finicky, but this isn't a PvP build. Do not take this into PvP because it does not work in PvP, please. Alright, so we have our weapon and armor piece that are going to be helping us create Warmind cells. But what are we going to do with those Warmind cells? Well, that is where our mods come into play. First up, the mod that's going to actually make this build even possible, Wrath of Rasputin, which gives us the ability to create Warmind cells on solar, splash damage, final kills. So yeah, basically you will need this mod for this build to even work. There are a couple of workarounds. You can run a 7th Seraph or Ikelos weapon in your kinetic slot to create Warmind cells without having to do splash damage, but being able to do the solar splash damage kills to create Warmind cells is just, it's honestly a more efficient option, especially for crowds of enemies, which is why I prefer this method a bit better. But if you can't get Wrath of Rasputin, then, you know, do what you gotta do. All right, so the second mod that is going to be pretty crucial to this build is called Strength of Rasputin, which gives you back melee energy when you collect Warmind cells. So as you create Warmind cells, you have a couple of choices. You can either use it for damage, or you can use it to get your melee back, consistently keeping up your Sun Bracers exotic ability, which will help you create even more Warmind cells. So it's kind of a cycle where your melee helps you create more solar grenades, which helps you create Warmind cells, which helps you recharge your melee even faster. All right, so next up on the mod list, we have Protective Light. Now, this will make a lot more sense in a couple of moments when I explain how we're going to get charged with light, but when you become charged with light, this mod will help you by giving you extra damage resistance against combatants when your shields are destroyed. Now, ideally, you most likely won't end up in a situation where you are low on health, but in those situations where you are in a boss room maybe, or a bunch of ads pop in, they pop your shield, You're charged with light, boom, there you go, a little bit of extra protection. Now it does consume all of your stacks, but the more stacks you have, the longer the damage resistant lasts. With this build, you'll only be having a max of 2 stacks, but that should be more than enough for any situation that you get yourself into. Next up, we have Incinerating Light, which makes you become charged by rapidly defeating enemies with the explosions from the Warmind cells. So when you destroy Warmind cells, basically what happens is it explodes. It's already got a pretty decent range. You can extend that range with mods like Global Reach, but even if you don't do that, the range on it is pretty good and it does a crap ton of damage. So if you have a bunch of ads, like a bunch of trash ads, and you explode the Warmind cell or destroy the Warmind cell, it will explode, do a bunch of damage, most likely will kill most of your red bar enemies, which will then in turn give you a charge with light. All right, so this last slot is pretty much up to you. You can do whatever you want in this slot. You can use high energy fire for extra weapon damage while you're charged with light. You can run something like heavy handed to get half of your melee back when you are charged with light and you use your melee. Me personally, I am running burning cells. Now you're probably wondering why I'm using this, because for larger enemies, it's going to give you a damage over time, which is going to help with you burning down those yellow bars and boss enemies. Now, there's one thing about this build, right, that I feel like might not come across as easily without me just flat out saying it. And it is that, yes, you only have 5 mod slots, right? So we're speccing into being able to create all these Warmind cells and increase our damage. But don't forget, if you are in a team, like anything where like you're in a fire team, your fire team members can also equip Warmind cell mods and such to use with your Warmind cells. So even if you decide to not even like use Warmind cell mods, you can just sit here and produce them. Like legit, using the Wrath of Rasputin and Elemental Ordnance, those 2 mods alone are darn near S tier for me at this point, because it gives me something where like I can just use it to create those things for like my fire team to use, even if I'm not going to use them. So, I mean, yes, obviously this build is to help you get through solo content if you decide to use this build for solo content, but it dawned on me while editing this video that like even if I didn't want to use this for solo content, like being able to make it rain elemental wells and Warmind cells is extremely good. And I'm not sure how the nerfs to Warmind cells are going to work, but even with those, like being able to produce this many, if they don't nerf the output and just nerf like the potency of them, this build alone will like keep that from like being an issue, because you'll have so many, you won't have to worry about how potent your Warmind cells are. You'll have like a crap ton of them just chilling all over the place, and there you go, boom, you'll just have them. So yeah, that's like another thing I forgot to mention about this build. But anyways guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will catch you guys next time with either another build or possibly something a bit different. Bye guys.